So first of all, disregard what I said about whitespire in my last Underlords video. Let's start fresh. Whitespire is, as far as we know, a completely independent city-state, and it's separate from Revtel and Weeping Rose. Weeping Rose is similar to Whitespire, and they might be neighbors. Revtel might also neighbor Whitespire, and is a nation separated into 3 kingdoms. Don't worry, I know it's a bit confusing, but all you have to know is that Whitespire is its own thing. It used to be run by Mama Ebe, a keen-looking woman who ruled it with an iron fist, but then she was assassinated, and her 4 selected Underlords are now fighting to take each their district, and eventually the whole city. Let's first cover the basics of Whitespire, and then talk about each district and its Underlord. Whitespire is a city known for its scummy, low-life inhabitants. Bar fights, backstabbing, swindling, smuggling, scheming, and other shenanigans are the norm, but behind it there's surprisingly a somewhat stable infrastructure. Bars, shows, and even a sort of police called the Rookery are well established, and also betting on courier races. The Rookery is likely led by the Ravenhooks, the raven humanoid-looking things you see in the newspaper and from an artifact card. The reason why Whitespire has been able to have this stability might be because of their former leader, Mama Ebe. She was first mentioned in Meeple's lore and artifact, where her prowess is shown in Meeple's fear of her. Then, now in City Crawl, we hear firsthand from Hobgen, who was her lieutenant, how respectable she was. He's a psycho asshole, but even he would never go against her and puts a lot of emphasis on fulfilling her wishes. Some new factions that have been emphasized in Underlords are the Dragons of Dragonhold and Trolls. The Trolls are following the Dark Troll chieftain, Jamoy. He was first planning to seek asylum in Weeping Rose, but the quorum there told him he would first have to deliver them Whitespire. So that's what he is doing. He probably will not be an Underlord, he is simply part of the puzzles and stuff in City Crawl, trying to take over the districts. Now, before we talk about each Underlord and district, let's look at the trailer video.
Whitespire. A smuggler's paradise, no stranger to violence and vice. But even in this lawless city, there is order. Mama Ebe wills it so. Powerful and feared in equal measure, Ebe has a stranglehold. Oh my God, they killed her. Okay. Whitespire, a smuggler's paradise with a power vacuum. Many will fight to take Ebe's place. Some seek power. Some seek wealth. Others are weird, raccoonish-looking things. But there can only be one Lord of Whitespire.
Anessix is a demon who is trying to gain power over Whitespire while also maintaining a good relationship with the Court of Restule. The Court of Restule is an institution for demons, but little else is known about it. Anessix kind of explains why all these big, otherworldly things like Weaver and the Spirit Brothers take part in street fights, because she is looking for more than just control of the city. For her, that's only the beginning. She is known as the Mistress of Secrets, and likes to control people by giving them what they want and make them indebted to her, kind of like the devil does according to some beliefs IRL. She's an earthbound demon, but can still summon demons to help her out in a fight. Anessix is trying to take control over the district Little Revtel, which probably got its name because of its similarities to the nation. I have a video that goes more in detail about Anessix if you want more than just the basics. You'll find it in the top right corner, along with my video on hobgen, jull, and enno. Hobgen is a fairy, and likely from the fairy kingdom that Lord Sumbreeze rules over. It's part of Revtel, and is likely inhabited by fairies. But now he has set his sight on the district New Tenebrous. He is a chaotic neutral psychopath who loves to set things on fire and bring chaos in general. He's basically the Joker from DC Comics, but a fairy in love with fire and Mareska the Dark Willow. He quite literally just wants to see the world burn. Surprisingly though, he does have some principles and he remains loyal to those he respects. That's why he still mourns Mama Ebe and is deeply in love with Dark Willow and does anything to impress her. While Anessix and Jull seems to somewhat get along, Anessix and Hobgen do not. She is trying to have him killed. They are all competitive, but there seems to be some extra rivalry between the two. They also both have very different approaches to controlling people. Hobgen was Mama Eve's most feared lieutenant, her right hand, and was maybe the one closest to her of all her underlords. Jull is a walrus bear, the same kind as Tusk, and they were friends back in the day. As such, Jull is likely from the north, more specifically Icewrack. He smuggles liquor and sells it at his bar, the Sundered Moon. The district he controls is Port Slipshade, where he does his business, which includes exchanging exotic things to serve in his menu and competing with other pubs. If Anessix is the devil and hobgen is the Joker, Jull is the ultimate neutral evil Russian mafia boss. Though, surprisingly, he doesn't mind getting his own hands dirty and will gladly fight in the front lines. Where Anessix and Hobgen are rivals, Jull's rival is Enno. They absolutely hate each other. Enno is a little furry creature trying to take over the Warrens. In the Warrens, only the natives are safe. What kind Enno is exactly is unknown, but there are many anthropomorphic characters in Dota, so he's likely just another one. He doesn't say much intelligible, but we know that he spends his free time patrolling the Warrens looking for anyone who doesn't belong there to kill them. He got power over the district by poisoning the water supply and killing a lot of people, and poison is a code word for him. Like a simple animal, he also likes shiny things and even attempted to steal Keeper of the Light's staff. His way of fighting includes poison darts and stealing the enemy's items, and jumping around chaotically in general. Other than the 4 current underlords, we also have some information on 6 more upcoming ones. If you have already seen my video on Tyler McVicker's Valve News Network YouTube channel, you can skip to this time on the screen. The most talked about is Grek, so let's start with him. Famed fight promoter and bloodsport show arranger Grek is looking to rise above his station and is trying to make a move against all 4 of Eve's chosen, Anessix, Hobgen, Jull, and Enno. He is most likely the guy we see in Monkey King's comic, because the comic is happening near Jull's bar, the Sundered Moon, which is in Whitespire. And additionally, from City Crawl, we learn that Grek knows Monkey King personally, so the evidence is pretty clear. Grek is a scummy asshole who owns a large collection of animals. He's maybe doing something resembling a Roman Colosseum fight, where it was common to have both people and animals fight to the death. His animals include Dota 2 underlords and artifact creeps such as Thunderhides, Wildwings, Year Beasts, and Hellbears. He is also known as a snake oil salesman, which means someone who is trying to sell you some pseudo-scientific medicine or remedy, knowing it doesn't actually do anything. Grek is trying to rise to the rank of an underlord, but the 4 current underlords have been underestimating him and are only recently taking notice and fighting back. My guess is he will have something to do with summons, as is described in encounters in City Crawl. He can't fight someone like Jull one-on-one, but instead overwhelms him with his goons and creatures. He has also worked with Onia to take down Anessix, whom I will come back to. So, he is capable of collaborating with others on a shared goal. My guess is he's the next underlord to be announced in Season 2. Wren is Mama Eve's daughter and seems to be some sort of traveler. She's most likely a troll or a keen, considering Eve's picture, and is friends with Dragonhold. Dragonhold, and dragons as a species, is a new and more detailed faction introduced in Underlords, which is affiliated with Dragon Knight and a new character, Kaden. During the early beta of Underlords, the portraits of each player look like this, and this one image is what I'm guessing is Wren. She's friends with nice human characters like Lycan, Kunkka, Windranger, and Mirana. Carl is not Invoker, but a new character we know very little about. He most likely looks similar to Pudge in Undying because he's an undead tailor. Lifestealer has been mistaken for the same kind as Carl, so he's definitely a grotesque looking character, and maybe from the Fields of Endless Carnage, where Pudge's people hail from. Though he might not be that bad a person, as he seems a bit sensitive. Other inhabitants of the Fields of Endless Carnage are also nice, so he could be one of the more sympathetic future underlords like Wren. Dead bodies can be delivered to Carl for some cash, as he uses them for his work. He is likely affiliated with the Heartless Alliance. Onia is a banished merchant from Revtal, a nearby nation consisting of 3 kingdoms. She's wealthy and always looking for a good investment. We have no idea what she looks like other than that she's from Revtal, which is inhabited by, among other things, humans. So she may be a human, and this one in particular. Little else is known about her. Quiet is an automaton from Ironfog, one of the kingdoms of Revtal. She is very concerned with details, efficiency, and precision. She likely looks like this geary robot thing, which is similar to the king of Ironfog, the Brass World. She will likely be friends with the Keens, as she was before they were removed from the game. Turath is a pretty enigmatic character, and as such, he is friendly with Primordials, the Spirit Brothers, and other otherworldly things like Weaver, Razor, and Faceless Void. He is also hunted by the Tyler Estate, which is an organization from Revtel that hunts down magic abusers. Otherwise, little else is known about him. So, don't get me wrong, I love Underlords, but I'm not gonna lie, I have my favorites and less favorites within the Dota IP. There's a reason why I haven't made Underlords content, and it's quite simply because it makes me a bit angry at times. There's a lot of contradictions in the story, which I honestly think is because Valve got sloppy and thought nobody is gonna care enough to check it anyways. Well, here I am, fact-checking, and you do not pass the test. Let's go through my main complaints. First of all, they're calling Lycan the last son of Slom. He is the last son of Embry, not Slom. Slom is a kingdom of Revtel, which other than having their king slain, still has many inhabitants. I have a whole video explaining the Quertheus Slom thing, and I know for a fact this is true because of a voice line I have linked as a pinned comment below the video. There's no question. So this is simply lazy. The video is linked up right. Also, Darkreef is a prison. It has ever only been referred to as a prison, and only that. Darkreef and Darkreef Prison has been used interchangeably and synonymously, but now Jull is doing business with them, exchanging goods, like as if it's a city. The city or nation or whatever would be cray. There's literally already an underwater place they could have used. This is a minor thing though, as you could always just excuse it as them expanding upon the current lore. Then there's the timeline issues. This is a lot to unpack, but I will try my best not to be confusing. So, the happenings in Artifact are before Underlords, right? Because Rix has taken the oath, the whole Lycan Beastmaster Quertheus thing is referred to in the past tense, Sven is still part of the Vigil Knights, even though he uses the blade he was supposed to only steal after rebelling against them, and Jamoy is seeking refuge. All of this points to first Artifact, then Underlords. Then why the frick is Meepo talking about Mama Eve being alive while Dark Willow has been caught? That places Underlords before Artifact. These are just a few examples. There's a lot of tiny things like Razor and the Court of Restore and some other things that bother me, but the most annoying part is definitely Sven's sword, Beastmaster's age, and Dark Willow being caught while Mama Eve is still alive. Sorry for the negativity, I just had to get this off my chest so I can move on. Promise to only be positive from now, even though the Underlords lore is my least favorite of the three. Why is the Weaver of Reality, the Faceless Void from the Time Realm Cresceraim, the Fundamentals and the Spirit Brothers joining street fights? Anessix wanting to eventually take over the Primordial Plane as the reason is so awful writing, it makes absolutely no sense. Why is she starting in a rinky-dink city? Okay, I'm done. Thanks for watching, and thank you Tyler for the opportunity. Peace guys, Jull and Enno videos are coming up. Peace!